So today we're in Spring Valley, New York. I've got Sherry with me. She is the expert here at Unita, and this is where they manufacture their abrasives. Today we're going to give you some tips and tricks when it comes to getting that ultra-fine finish on your cabinet so you can have that professional quality finish. And in one of our videos previously, we introduced and talked just briefly about the Ekadiamond sponge. This is something that is very new to the industry. I believe that you guys have the exclusive rights to it here in the United States and maybe even North America. And it's a unique sponge, so I think you need to stay tuned and listen to what this thing is all about, because you're going to show us what it actually is about, Sherry.
What we try to do in the finish room is we try to eliminate hand sanding, and we can do about 90% of with the EcoSilk Plus and the 3x4 sander, but we still get into areas where we have to have a hand sponge. One of the problems in the past has been either you have the half-inch hand sponge that would, when you would come around the corner, it tears, or you had to be careful because if it was the black or the brown, it would leave the grain in the white paint. Right. So they introduced the white, but we're still having grain in the paint. You can still feel it if you run your hand over it, and that's still got to be flattened down on your next coat, right? With the Ekadiamond, we've eliminated that. Okay, so we got almost zero shedding. We've got the ability to come around a corner without tearing. And the other thing is, this one does not load. I have customers that swear by this. When we introduced it about a year ago, it was slow to take off. People were kind of like hesitant, just like when you started with the first sponges for the sander. Mm-hmm. But once they got their hands on it and they started using it and they could see the longevity of this thing, it's crazy how fast it has taken off.
And so, I mean, longevity just ends up meaning you're just going to spend less money on your abrasives, so your overhead is going to be lower. So it does have a diamond pattern on it. You can see that diamond pattern. And is that something unique? Does it serve a purpose? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it does actually serve a purpose because it's got channels. So it's, again, it's allowing us to give us some room for the dust to dissipate, right? And the nice thing about this thing is it comes in a variation of colors by grit.
Right.
So if you're looking for something a little bit coarser, you're going to go with the 100 grit. We also do a 120, 150, 180, 220, and it's easy in the shop for them to know which grit to grab, right?
So once you learn the color code, you know exactly what grit you're grabbing, then, is what I understand. So I know, like, you talked a little bit about shedding. So we've got, this sponge over here, and this is kind of like, I don't know, old school. So we would be sanding in a corner like this, and I noticed that it would get little pieces of the grain, the grit, down in these corners. If you didn't blow it out completely, that's going to get locked in there. The paint's going to get built up around it. So that ends up becoming a problem when you're trying to get that ultra fine finish. So it sounds like the Ekadiamond completely eliminates that. So is the Ekadiamond, could I wet that sponge?
Yes. Yes, you can run any sponge wet. Right. Of course, there's different chemicals that that it will react with, but for the most part, you can run it wet.
So if it got like extremely dirty, you want it to be clean, could I take soap and water and clean it?
You can wash it, but I don't recommend using soap. You never know what's in the soap and what chemical can react. And sometimes, especially if you're sanding on white cabinets, you don't want to transfer the color onto the cabinet. So I would recommend just using water on it.
Yeah, and if you use any type of chemical, any type of soaps, you could, if you didn't get it all out of that, you could transfer it and really work it into your finish that you're recoating. You could cause fisheye contamination. That could become a big problem too. But washable, reusable with just water, and you're good to go. There it is, a little bit of information about the Ekadiamond sponge from Unita. Stay tuned for our next video right here on Paint Life TV. Out.